turn a plain bookshelf into a dinosaur bookshelf with this video. So we're going to use a plain bookcase that's seen better days, and we're going to fix it up with FolkArt home decor chalk paint. So I started by adding my protective gear. This is important because the paint on this piece needed to be removed. If the coating on the piece you're working on is in good shape, you can absolutely go over the top with your home decor chalk paint. However, this paint was beyond repair. So we used our heat gun to remove as much of the finish as possible. This is a non-chemical way to strip paint, but you can absolutely use a chemical stripper if you wish. So we just removed the paint from all the surfaces, and then our bookcase was ready for a major makeover. So once all the paint was removed, I also removed the back from this piece because we're going to turn it into a dinosaur. But before we throw that into the trash, we're actually going to use it as a template for the size. So we're just going to trace that for the size, and then we're going to freehand on a dinosaur tail and a dinosaur head as well. You can use an image from the internet as a guide, but just freehand that onto 1/4-inch finished plywood so that it will hold paint well. Now, you can use the same technique for other animals. So just pick your animal based on what your child likes or the theme of their room. And then you just use a jigsaw to cut out the entire back of the bookshelf, including your animal shape. And now it is time to add that to the back of the bookshelf. First thing we'll need to do is to sand all the edges really well and get those nice and smooth. And then I ran over the bookshelf as well with a sander just to remove any paint that might be hanging on and to smooth the surface down. Then I cleaned both pieces really well, both the bookshelf and the dinosaur. Then I used some nails to add the back to the bookshelf itself. Now it's ready for our paint. So I grabbed my FolkArt home decor chalk paint in Monarch, as well as my FolkArt paint and wax brush set. So first I used my chalk brush to apply my first coat of home decor paint to my entire piece. You'll want to stir your paint well, then apply it to a clean, dry surface. Then you want to allow it to dry for 2 hours before adding a second coat. Now, you may find the piece you are working on does not need a second coat, but mine did. I am not going to do any distressing on my piece, so I'm actually not going to do any sanding. But if you wanted a distressed look, you could sand after the first coat, after the second coat. You could apply layers of different colored paint to get a distressed look, however you would like to paint your piece. I just allowed mine to dry 2 hours, then applied a second coat, and then I allowed it to dry overnight, and then I added my protective layer, which is the home decor wax. I chose a clear wax for this piece. So you want to dip your brush in, dab off any excess, and then apply a thin layer in circular motions while pushing the paint in and allowing it to be absorbed by that matte finish of your chalk paint. Then you want to allow that entire wax coating to dry overnight and buff it with a clean, dry cloth until you get the finish you love. Now, you are going to want to allow that to cure for about 7 days before any heavy use. Then you can add on all of your bookshelf accessories. Those dinosaur bookends were actually painted with the home decor chalk paint as well, and the colors are Irish and blue Nantucket if you're interested. Hope you enjoy this dinosaur bookcase.